Okay, right. So we discussed about true, false, and not given, and also fill in the blanks. So these two types of questions we discussed today. Okay, and let's see now in section 2 what kind of questions we basically get here. Okay, so let's see the passage. So the first thing that we see here is the heading, the step pyramid of Djoser. Okay, the step pyramid of Djoser. So that's actually what this passage is all about. All right. Okay, and all right, Miss Anita, can you hear me? Okay, fine. Okay, fine. Now, the step pyramid of Djoser. This is actually the section 2 of the question. So here in section 2, you see the size or the quantity of the passage is again almost similar to what we actually witnessed in section 1, ideally, right? So reading line by line of such a passage is going to take a lot of time. So that's why I suggest not to read it line by line. It is not going to help in any way. Okay, it is not going to help in any way. So please make sure that you go through the question first and see what kind of question it is, and then try to answer them by effectively scanning the information. Okay, right. So now let's see. This is about some pyramid that they are trying to talk about. Okay, like that. So now let's see what type of question we have. This type of question here is called match the heading. Okay, this type of question is basically called as match the heading. So when we say match the heading, what do we mean by that? So we basically have to understand that you have to spend 20 minutes on this 14 to 26, okay, which are based on reading passage 2 on page number 21 and 22, like that. Okay, questions 14 to 20. Reading passage 2 has 7 paragraphs, A to G. Okay, choose the correct heading for each paragraph from the list of headings given below. Okay, choose the correct heading from each paragraph from the list of headings given below, like that. Okay, so this is something that's important here for us to understand. Okay, that we have to see which paragraph is suitable for which heading. Okay, or vice versa, we have to see which heading is suitable for which paragraph, like that. Okay, and for 14 to 20, these are the passages here, like that, right? Question number 14 to 20, and this is paragraph A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Okay, where are these paragraphs? They are here. Okay, I hope you can see A, right, B, and C, and all of these, like that. Okay, so they in fact have to be answered here. Understood? So this is the type of question that we have in this name here. That's how it is. Okay. Right. Anyway, so now what is the approach here? The approach is very simple. So we need to start with the paragraph here. So don't go and start with the questions, because it won't help further. Okay, I know that here for true, false, and not given and fill in the blanks, we in fact started with the paragraph. Okay, we in fact started with the question first, and then we went to the paragraph, right? But here, the approach is the other way around. Okay, the approach is the other way around, where we have to make sure that we ideally kind of start with the paragraph, then go ahead next with identifying the paragraph. Okay, so this is a very important aspect of it. Okay, right. So in the first paragraph, we need to understand what is the gist of this particular paragraph. Okay, gist means the summary, right? So why do we need the gist here? It's because we need to match it with the heading. So headings always are created keeping the gist in the mind or the summary in the mind. Okay, that's exactly how it is. So how do we quickly identify, or how do we comfortably identify the answers? Yeah, so the best way is to read the first and last sentences of the paragraph. This will actually give you a complete idea about the whole paragraph. Okay, no matter how big or small is the paragraph. Okay, that's how it is. So now let's see the first sentence, what they talk about. The pyramids are the most famous monuments of ancient Egypt. Okay, the pyramids are the most famous monuments of ancient Egypt and still hold enormous interest of people in the present day. Means they were famous and now also they are famous. That's what they are trying to talk about. Okay. However, now last sentence talks about, you see the word however, you need to focus on these words which are opposite ideas like that. However, there's no question that as far as Egypt is concerned, okay, it began with one monument to one king designed by brilliant architect, Mr. Pyramid. Right? So there is no question. Egypt is concerned, it began with one monument. So there is no question that. So they are actually trying to tell us that it is not questioned. I mean, it is confirmed. Something is confirmed that as far as Egypt is concerned, it began with one monument to one king designed by another brilliant architect. Like that. Okay, so this is what they are trying to say. Now, in the first and last sentence, we understood that they are trying to talk about pyramids, and these pyramids are very famous till today. Okay, and they had some doubts about these pyramids ideally. However, as far as Egypt is concerned, there is no doubt. Okay, there's no question that. So once we understand this, then we will have to go to the question to see which is the other option. I mean, which is that option or the heading that matches this particular line like that. So we got the gist here that they are trying to talk about something that is undisputed. Okay, right. Now let's see this. So here is the passage. Here are the questions like that. Okay, now once we read this paragraph here, so what we have to do is we have to scan for these headings one by one like that, right? And we'll see which one matches with paragraph A. So reading the paragraph multiple times would take more time here. That's why we went to the paragraph first, where we read the paragraph only once, and then we shall come back here and read the headings. So reading headings multiple times is comfortable one. There's no problem with that. It can be done very quickly. like that. Okay. So now we'll see areas and artifacts within the pyramid itself. So are they talking about areas and artifacts within the pyramid? They're not talking about artifacts here anywhere in the first paragraph. Okay, so that first one can't be the answer for 14th one. And second one, a difficult task for those involved. Okay, a difficult task for those involved. So they're not discussing anything about anything that is difficult or easy here. Right? I hope you got it. So that way, we can comfortably say that it is not the answer for question number 1, paragraph number 1. A king who saved his people. So there's nothing that is discussed in paragraph A about king saving people. It's only about the monuments. Okay, so nothing is discussed about the king, though, right? And a single certainty among other less definite facts. Yes, so this one, so the moment we see single certainty, the word single certainty, certainty means what? Confirmed one. Okay, certainty means confirmed one, something that is confirmed. Okay, so how do we know that they are talking about confirmation here? So as I said, they're saying that there is no question that. Okay, when there is no question, of course, it would lead to certainty, isn't it? Right? Okay, that's how it is, among other less definite facts. Like that. So how do we know there are less definite facts? Because of the word however. So because however indicates opposite idea always. Okay, however indicates opposite idea. That's why. Okay, so this is how it is generally like that. Okay. Now, yeah. So first one, we can say that they are discussing about option, fourth one, single certainty among other less benefits. And in order to confirm with the other options, you can actually go with the other options as well as to check like whether if any one of these options match with it or not. Okay, like fifth one, an overview of the external buildings and areas. They are not talking about external buildings as such. Okay, or sixth one, pyramid design that others copied. Yes, a pyramid design that others copied. So whether they copied it or not. Okay, so that is not discussed actually. Okay, that is not discussed ideally. So this is something important for us to understand here. Okay, so even sixth one is not matched. The idea of changing the design of burial structures. Okay, burial structures. So burial structures, they are not discussing. Incredible experience despite the few remains. Incredible experience, they are not discussing. Okay, answers to some unexpected questions. Unexpected, they are not talking about. Okay, so we need to see that what is the main idea that they are discussing in the first and last sentences of the paragraph. Okay, no matter how big is the paragraph, okay, the first and last sentences would actually give you the idea about it. Okay, so I hope the first one is clear to everybody. the first paragraph A, why it is matching with fourth heading. Clear? Okay.
Sir,
Right.
Yes, sir.
excuse,
Yes, Phil.
sir, would you kindly repeat it once again, sir?
Oh, well, now here you see there is one statement. There is no question, okay, that as far as Egypt is concerned, it began with one monument to one king designed by one brilliant architect. Means in the case of Egypt, okay, Egypt pyramid, there is no doubt about anything because they say that here the evolution of pyramid form has been written and argued about for centuries. Argued means what? Means there were some disagreements. That's when they argue. But in the case of Egypt pyramid, it is a single certainty. Means this is the only pyramid about which there is no argument among many other definite, indefinite, less definite facts. That is where this particular heading matches with the information in the paragraph. I hope it is clear, right? The first and last sentences should help you to select the headings quite comfortably. Like that. Okay, you see, okay, so that's about A. And in B, we see here
Excuse me, sir.
that Djoser was the first king of the third dynasty of Egypt and the first to build in stone. So they are talking about who is the king here. They are discussing about the king, right? And this is the first sentence. And let's see the last sentence, what it talks about. Like Djoser, I mean the king, is thought to have reigned, means ruled for 19 years. But some historians and scholars attribute a much longer time for his rule. Means they attribute, means they kind of say that he has ruled for longer period. Okay, owing to the number and size of the monuments he built. Okay, so there is some argument here that like how long he actually ruled here. Okay, so that is what they are actually trying to talk about in the first and last sentence, right? And now we have to go back to the paragraphs to see which heading matches the best. Okay, here what they talked about was the first king built in stone, like that. Okay, and then Djoser ruled for some years, but there is some disagreement and agreement about his longer duration. Okay, depending on number and size of monuments he has actually built. Okay, so that's what they are trying to say, right? So let's see what matches here. Okay, now fourth one we have already selected for first paragraph. So leaving that, we have to select for something else. The areas and artifacts within the pyramid itself? No. Within the pyramid, they are not discussing. It is more about the king here, not about the pyramid in the second paragraph. Right? Okay. And difficult task for involved. Difficult task. They didn't discuss any difficult though so far. Okay. A king who saved his people. So they don't discuss any saving thing here. It is only about how he ruled and all that. Okay, so that's the thing. So third one can't be matched. Fourth one we have already selected. Fifth one, overview of the external buildings and areas. Okay, overview. Is it like trying to talk about? Overview means how is that buildings and areas and all that. Let's see if it is talking about it. Yes. So when we don't get the things here in the last and first sentences, we may have to go in between the paragraphs here. Okay, because that will give us some clarity on what the paragraphs are trying to talk about. Okay, so here if we observe in between the sentences, we say rectangular monuments, right? Underground passages, okay, and buildings taller, impressive tone, okay, making them smaller. Got it? Right? So here they are actually giving us some insight of the buildings in these questions. Okay, that's exactly how the things are actually. So for this, we may have to go a little inside of the paragraph to see or observe what kinds of words are used here. Okay, and the words that are used here confirm to us that they are talking about overview of the things, like how in fact they are and what kind of buildings we have. Okay, and all that. Okay, so let's see if any other paragraph matches. Okay, over external buildings and pyramid design that others copied. Okay, they don't talk anything about copying here. Okay, that's why we cannot choose sixth one. Okay, and fifth one
Actually,
looks very close. Sixth one looks very close, but we'll see all the statements. Okay, the idea of changing the design of burial structures.
this one is the suitable heading, I think so.
Yes.
Because
Okay.
they are talking about that deceased person for it's buried.
Yes, yes. So they are trying to talk about smaller, bigger, rectangular.
Taller.
Yes. So all the adjectives that
term,
they are using. Exactly. Okay. So and they talk about things here like prior to rain, tombs were rectangular.
And their monuments.
Okay. Which covered underground passages. Okay, which remain unclear. Whose name was?
Deceased person was buried.
Correct.
That one
So
for burial structure in a heading, burial
Ah.
structure was there.
Correct, exactly. And the tomb is a place where you actually bury people.
Yes, tomb.
Isn't it? So tomb, impressive tomb. The word tomb also helps you to select this particular
heading
word, the statement. Yes. Okay, like that. So stacking stone slabs, top of another, making them smaller. Okay, the word smaller helps us to understand that
to form the shape.
Yes, to form the shape now known as step pyramid, means he changed it. Okay, like that. So it is very common that two options can come very close, right? Or they may sound very similar, right? They may sound very similar, like that. Okay, but here it is kind of important for us to understand that we have to see the complete statement matching. Okay, right. So that's the main thing. Yes, that's a good job. Right, an incredible experience answers. So they are not matching here, right? So these list of headings is the trickiest ones out of all these questions that we have. Okay, because we need to match the headings exactly, and we need to ensure that the headings that we match are not only partially matching, but they are matching 100% completely. Okay, that's the main thing. Well, okay, so that is for 15. And now let's go to the next one, that is C. So in the C part again, so we will try to understand that if it is discussed here. So they talk about step pyramid has been thoroughly examined and investigated over the last century. Okay, has been investigated over the last century, and now known that the building process went through many different stages. Okay, and last sentence says that the weight of the enormous mass was a challenge for the builders who placed the stones at an inward incline in order to prevent the monument breaking up. Okay, so you observe the language that is used here. First, they talk about step pyramid, examined, investigated over the last century. Okay, and now known that the building process went through many different stages. Okay,
And in third line also,
third line,
that writing much experimentation was involved.
yes. Okay, so the much experimentation was involved. So means it has undergone a drastic change.
Difficult task, yes.
Yes. It had several plans. Okay. Piling 6 level on top of one another. Weight, mass, challenge for builders. Means something difficult here. To place the stones, so and so. Okay. So overall observation of the kind of language used here. Okay. So this is something crucial for us here, ideally. Okay. Well, so now out of these statements here, so which one? The areas and artifacts within the pyramid itself. They are not talking about that. Difficult task for those involved. Yes, of course. Okay, because it was difficult. This line confirms that the was a challenge for the builders. Challenge is a synonym of difficult. Okay, so we have to go by the synonyms here. That's how it is. That's how we need to match the statements here. Clear? Okay, everyone. That's how the yeah. Okay, so C, we can match it with the second heading. Okay, so far we could match with the fourth one and second one. Okay, and also the seventh one. So we could do 3 of them, like that. Right? And the more we do them, the more the better we would be at identifying the synonyms, like that. Okay. Well, now even the D. So let's see what they try to talk about here. So finally completed, 62 meters high, tall structure of its time. Okay, and Joseph was proud accomplishment. He broke the tradition of having his own name, had his IELTS name carved in it. So when you look into the second paragraph, you see these numbers.
Yes, sir. And
this actually tells us something. It's inside
Second line,
structures.
it was included a temple, courtyards, shrines,
Ah,
and living quarters.
what was inside and outside of the building? That was a quick way to identify when we look at the numbers. 16 hectares, 10.5 meters, 13 false doors, 750 meters long, 40 meters wide. Only the numbers. You don't have to worry about the full sentences and all that. Right?
And
Okay.
yeah.
And finally, they say temple, courtyard, shrine, living quarters, priests. All of this inside. What was inside it? Like that. Okay. So,
And in last line,
let's say it was
that
named after somebody.
if
Yeah.
someone wished to enter, he or she would have need to know in advance how to find the location of the true opening in the wall.
Of the wall. Yes. Means
Yes.
outside and inside. They are discussing about
Inside.
both. Yes. They are discussing about both the things. So the
first
areas
one
and
is
artifacts within the pyramid itself. The areas and artifacts. Because when we say areas, all these numbers.
temple, courtyard,
Yes.
quarter,
These words, all of them. And 10.5 meters, 750, 13, 40, 16. They tell us that it is about areas, hectares, right? Meters and all. That is how it has to be identified actually. Okay, this is the way that we need to do it. So we could do the first page of it. Okay, and we have done, I think 4 of them we did. Okay, the total paragraphs we have is 7. The 18, 19 and 20 I would want you to try. Okay.
Okay.
Similarly, how we actually did, where I would want you to go for E, F, G paragraphs. Okay. So it is in page number 22, as you can see, and I've already sent the document to all of you. Okay. Please try to do these 3 questions and send across the answers when you finish it. Okay. These 3 questions, E, F, and G. Okay, all of you?
Okay, sir.
All right. Please try now. You can open the document from your end, right? Yeah. All right. Go for it.
பாருங்களேன் யாராவது